What's the biggest difference, Red, in this year's team? Obviously, Judah's gone. We know that. But it looks like on paper, and everything for us is on paper at this point until we see it, right?
Right.
But it looks like there's more balance. There's probably more depth, overall talent. Yes?
Yes, I 100%. I think we are a more balanced team. I think we've been able to add more shooters. I think we've been able to get an inside presence. We've gotten bigger inside, and obviously, I think the biggest thing is being able to have a point guard that is looking to get people, involved. Again, it's all types of different point guards in today's game, but I think this year, being able to have the addition of Jaquan Carlos will be huge for our program.
I looked after doing the Louisville game last year. I saw some of the other guys play really well. One of my favorite players coming back this year is Chris Bell. I think he's one of the I think he's the best pure shooter in this conference, and just the ability to do it off the move, the length to see over the top. He plays with great balance. What have we seen from him this summer? I think he's one of the guys that we aren't talking enough about.
Yeah, the one thing about Chris has done a great job this summer of kind of rounding his game out. Mm-hmm. We've really talked about not only shooting, but being able to, move without the ball, cut, get rim twos. He's gotten stronger. He's really made a conscious effort of getting stronger and being comfortable with the ball. The way we want to play. We want to play fast, and he has to have the ability to get an outlet and push it up and make a decision. So we've worked with him a lot on those things this year. Just kind of really rounding out his game. And it's funny, we track a lot, and he finished the summer. Again, I don't know how, but he shot 82% from three in movements. He's gotten better.
Those are real numbers?
Yeah, real numbers.
Man.
So again, not a lot of shots, but when he got those looks, he knocked them down. So I think he's increased his consistency, but overall, he's done a good job of rounding out his game.
Is Chance Westry healthy? How's he doing?
Chance Westry is healthy. It took him some time to adjust. He really was hitting his stride during the last 2 weeks of the summer. Mm-hmm. And then when we came back, he had a little illness, nothing serious, and he'll be back. But we're excited about him because he also gives you another guy that can make plays and can see the game and get people the ball. And he's improved his shooting. Obviously, it's going to take him some time to get back into rhythm.
Mm-hmm. Coach, there's a lot of excitement, and rightly so, around your freshman, Donnie Freeman. What specifically is it about him, the player about him, the person, that makes him unique that you're noticing?
I think obviously the measurables and how he finished up high school, but he's still, we're catching him in this ascending, and his eyes are still big and his ears are still open. I think the biggest thing is coachability. I love the fact that he's all in, and you talk to him about something and you address something, and he locks right in and he does it. And so I love that fact, and and he's a worker. The one thing about it is, he's a guy that, he initiates his own work ethic. He doesn't need someone to pull him in. He's always in it, and he's always trying to get better. I think our job is to take the pressure off of him with all the hoopla around him, and I think he's doing a really good job of it. And I love the fact that we have older guys, guys like Eddie Lampkin, Jair Davis. Those guys are kind of putting him under his wing and showing him. So I'm excited about him. I mean, just as talented as anyone that we've ever had as a freshman coming in our program. I mean, some of the stuff that he can do.
That's high praise.
It is. I mean, again, the ability is there. A guy that you're talking about, I think he's grown since he's been on campus. A guy that can shoot the ball, a guy that can put it on the floor, making reads. We're just, excited of where he can be and how he's going to be able to help us moving forward.
All right. How many practices was Boeheim at last year? That's what I want to know. How many did he show up at?
Listen, he was at every practice. The question is, how long did he stay?
I know those guys, they don't really want to be there anymore. I remember talking to Jay Wright, and Jay Wright's like, I go to a Villanova practice, and after 5 minutes, I want to leave, but I can't. I feel like the obligation.
He waits to the water break.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. Then he tries to sneak out.
Yeah,
right?
He waits to the water break. Oh, yeah. No, he comes. He comes pretty frequently, which is expected, and I love him. Yeah. I love when he comes. This year, he's starting to slow down a little bit more, but he's still popular.
Yeah, as it gets further and further away,
I
think they don't feel, I mean, again, my guess is, Julie probably wants to, get him away a little bit too, right? Enjoy life after retirement.
Yeah, I tell him that too, but this is his life. He's been doing it for so long, and again, I love him being there, and he doesn't give me advice until 2 days later. And,
it's probably good.
Is that the rule?
The emotion's gone.
Hey, is that the rule?
Yeah, no, he'll come in and he'll say, I was watching the other day, and I think, but not a lot though.
Give me the funniest story, if there was one last year, with interactions with you and him.
So coach is a coach, no matter what, and we honored Coach. Jim Boeheim Day, and we had played Notre Dame, and we jumped out to a big lead, and they came back and fought back. That was that stretch where they had, they kind of had it going.
Yeah,
they were playing great, and tooth and nail game going back and forth, and so at the end of the game we honor them, and I'm holding his jersey up, and I'm giving him a plaque. I'm giving it to him. And as I'm giving it to him, they're talking about it. He's talking about the game. And I'm like, hot mic.
No way. No, come on.
Yeah,
take the flag.
Yeah, take the flag. Come on, let's go. So I'm like, oh my God. Obviously, when Coach is Coach talking. Like, I'm like,
So
I
good.
know, Coach. Yeah, that was probably the last one that really.
There'll be more.
Oh
Red,
my
there'll
God.
be more. Trust me.
I was laughing and sweating at the same time. Like, oh my God.
Like, what's he saying? Right.
I mean, again, I was frustrated as well too, but I was like, all right.
After being an assistant for a long time, last year one, what's the biggest takeaway from year one? Because everybody talks about your first year as a head coach and all the responsibility that's thrust upon you. What was the biggest takeaway for you after year one, really?
I think conviction in my whys. I think every coach, every person, we all have our whys of why we do something, right?
Sure.
And for me, it was really more conviction of my whys of, all the way up from basketball-related situations, even down to my program.
Sure.
All of just the conviction of whys, of why I want to do something or why I chose to do this. I think that really probably resonated with me more. And some of my whys kind of went down, on my chart. Some of the things wasn't as important as I thought they were, right? And some went way up to the top. So again, we, as a coach, I'm always listening and trying to learn and trying to get better, from greats. We got great coaches in our game, and I think as me being a young coach, I try to learn from them, and you hear people say stuff over and over again, and a lot of that stuff started making sense. You listen to obviously Jay Wright, Coach Boeheim, the Batinos, they say stuff. If you follow them, Tony Bennett, they say stuff, and you're like, ah. But then, for me, after that first year, a lot of those things started to say, oh, I get that now. I understand that a little bit more now.
How much GW basketball are you going to watch this year?
A ton, every game. I'm part of Coach Caputo's staff.
For people that are watching, his son plays sophomore at GW this year, right?
Going into sophomore year, yeah.
How do you critique him after games? Like, do you call him after games, or is that something where it's like you got to give him a little time to cool off? You got to be dad more than coach.
Yeah. Mama does that.
Mama does a critiquing.
Mama does the critiquing.
She's tough?
No, she's tough, man. She's tough. She's tough.
She tough on you?
She's tough on me too, man. She knows after the game, leave me alone. But I typically talk to him. I try not to talk to him until a day after, and it's really just about listening to him. Again, I don't want to be. I don't want to coach him. I've never coached him. He has coaches, right? And I don't know what they are talking about. So anything I can say, I'm just saying it from a Dash perspective, no matter what if you're a coach or not. But I do coach him as far as being able to be coachable, and whatever it is, the only thing that can make it right is the work. Is the work and the attitude and his approach, and that's probably about as much coaching as I do for him.
Smart.
Red, we have to let you go. Thanks for taking the time. Appreciate you.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Red
Good seeing you
Autry.
guys.
You're inside the building each and every day. How are you guys different from last year, and how could that lead you to where you want to be, March Madness?
Yeah, I think just the makeup of our team is different. This year, I feel like we have good spacing on the floor. We have some really good shooters. It's just gonna make our play style even more easy. Just making plays for each other, and just driving lanes are opening up for each other. So.
Just to lead off what JJ saying, I just think we got a bunch of older guys and from a bunch of programs who have won. I mean, Eddie Lampin, Colorado, he's been to the tournament 3 times, so it's nothing new to him.
By the way, your biggest fan is right here at this table.
Now, this dude has been gushing about you.
I think you're the best shooter in the league.
I am.
I think you.
Best shooter in the country.
Yeah, I think you're the best. I mean, if you're the best shooter in ACC, you got to be up there. So
that's true.
I did your all's Louisville game last year. I love the way you play with so much balance and all that. I'm just going to skip you, Jeff.
That's good. You skip
Jaquan Carlos, for both you guys. I mean, he averaged 6.5 assists a game. Ball didn't pop that much last year. Let's be honest. Judah would, dribble the air out of the ball. I think the ball's going to move more this year. You're going to have more driving lanes. You're going to be more open because he can put pressure on the rim. How has Carlos kind of changed the dynamic of what you guys do offensively? In the summer, anyway.
Yeah. As you said, he's a really good playmaker, facilitator. And that's what he showed at his old school. But at the same time, he can get a bucket. He can score.
Sure.
So, he's going to play a big role for us, just as far as his abilities on the court. And like you said, he can pass to anybody on the court and make plays. So.
Yeah. I mean, JC, obviously, I think he averaged, 6 assists, 7 assists last year. Mm-hmm. So, pass first type of guy. And he always leads that way. When it comes to working with his team or, getting his team back in shape, everybody's always involved. Like, when you watch his teams play in practice, everybody's involved. It's not just one person scoring.
I feel like the country and this league needs Syracuse to be good again, like really good. You guys feel that a little bit, too, on campus? Like, last year, you guys haven't been there that long, but still, like, you got to get this thing back. Like, the Syracuse brand means so much to college basketball. And if you guys can get it back, man, I don't know. There's just something about it.
Yeah.
You feel that?
Yeah. That's what we're striving for. Because at the end of the day, that's what we know we're capable of, especially with this year's team, the leadership that we have, the experience that we have, and just everybody buying into the winning mindset. So that's hopefully that we keep trending into that direction. We had a good year last year where we had 20 wins, but we're not satisfied. We feel like we can do more, and at the end of the day, we had 20 wins, but we didn't make the tournament. So
if you get it going, the Dome, there's no better place to play.
Exactly.
I mean, again, nothing holds more, right? And they all show up when you get it going.
Right.
It's the best. I mean, one of the best home courts advantage in the country.
Right.
It is. I mean, I've been there for the last 3 years, so obviously trying to get back to the tournament is our main goal. And I think we came a little bit short of that, just not getting a couple of those easy wins. I wouldn't say easy, but just a couple of more wins that we needed last year. But I definitely feel it. It's my 3rd year here, and I know what being in the orange means to everybody in Syracuse, so definitely want to get back to the tournament and keep winning.
What have you guys seen from Donnie Freeman so far in the summer and the fall?
Monster.
Go ahead.
I would just say he's a monster. Definitely 6'10", monster. It's going to be hard to deal with him just because of how athletic he is. And I think a lot of people don't know is he can actually put the ball on the floor. For us, he'll rebound, push it, he'll make a play. So I think that's what a lot of people are going to be interested in seeing is watching him really play basketball. He's raw talent.
Right. Who's he like? Give me a comparison to an NBA player for him, if you got one, either of you.
How do I want to put this without being disrespectful to the NBA player? Because I know this NBA player. I would say he plays if I want to put a college player, I want to say how athletic he is. I want to say Blake Griffin.
Really?
That's who I really
old school Blake Griffin.
Old school Blake Griffin in Oklahoma.
Hit your head on the backboard, Blake Griffin.
Jumping off the trampoline.
Yeah, but then if you progress, he can put it on the floor too. So that's why I want to lean a little bit more from that for sure.
Hey, you know who? When I asked Mike Bray about you a couple of years ago, he actually compared you to my favorite basketball player ever of all time. None of these guys will ever have heard of him. You probably even heard this name. It was Andrew Toney. You ever hear him compare you to him?
No, I never.
Andrew Toney.
Did you ever hear of Andrew Toney?
I've heard the name before.
Andrew Toney, I'm telling you, if he'd stayed healthy, he would have been a Hall of Famer. Played for the Sixers.
Okay.
Charles Barkley said he was the best player he ever played with. He was that good. He had ankle injuries, but he was so explosive. First step, ridiculous. Some of those same things you have in your game. What's the biggest thing that we're going to see out of you this year that maybe we didn't last year?
Definitely a ramp up on the explosiveness, as you said, and just my shooting. That's all I've been doing, this summer, this off season. Just being in the gym, getting extra shots up, making sure everything feels right, and then also defensively, just using my athleticism and my length. I have a 6'9", 6'10" wingspan. I'm like 6'4", so being able to guard, multiple perimeter guys, and just keeping the ball in front of me. So I'm definitely going to be looking forward to that.
How fast can you guys play in transition? Because you grab one, and there's not many people that can grab a rebound or get an outlet pass, and you're down the floor so fast. Yeah. I mean, that's a part that you take pride in. With guys that are willing to release the ball this year, that's going to be an added element to Syracuse, I'm assuming. Yeah,
for sure. That's how Coach Red wants us to play. He wants us to play fast. Even if the opposing team scores, we're getting the ball out and we're pushing it. He doesn't want to call plays. Our best offense is transition and getting open look for each other. So,
I got to ask Chris Bell this question. What's the difference between your first practice under Jim Boeheim and your first practice under Red Autry?
I would say the difference is the coaching is a little different, right? So Coach B is kind of like an old-style coach. So you come in, you do your drills, and then a lot of him conditioning is playing. So you play 5-on-5. Like, that's how our practices work. We worked in zone. Like, we practice that way. We play 5-on-5 full court for 45 minutes to an hour most of the time.
Have you had to recalibrate the brain from the 2-3 zone book?
No chance. I still have that locked in.
That never leaves you.
Always. It's a part of Syracuse basketball. I think it's going to be around forever anyways. But and then when it comes to Coach Red, I would just say it's more we got drills, and then we play man-to-man as well. And then we also run faster on the offensive end. So it's just a different style of coaching that I think we've adjusted to coming in the second. It's my third year now, so just adjusting to it.